Well, also for the latest on this, we have CNA's Afifa Arifin joining us live from Kuala Lumpur. Afifa, announcement finally made. Do we have more details from PM's speech?
That's right. So we just heard the Prime Minister Ismail Sabri addressing the nation live at 3 p.m. earlier from the Prime Minister's office. And in that speech, he spoke about how the country has gone through numerous challenges, specifically the COVID-19 pandemic, and also how the country's economy has been recovering well over the last couple of years in terms of political developments. The Prime Minister also acknowledged the instability, the political instability in this country, and reminded the nation how there had been 3 prime ministers in one single term. Now, Prime Minister Ismail Sabri also outlined his achievements as the Premier since he took office in August last year. He listed some of the parliamentary reforms that were implemented. This, of course, includes the anti-party hopping law, the anti-stalking and harassment law, as well as changes to the MA 63 Act. And so, as expected, this was a highly anticipated announcement that the country had been watching with bated breath. The Prime Minister announced the dissolution of the 14th Parliament today, saying that he had gotten consent from the King to do this.
Well, Afifa, what can we then expect next? Perhaps reaction from the opposition as well?
Well, now that the dissolution has happened, we know that election has to be called within 60 days. So this means that a general election must happen before the 9th of December this year. Over the weekend, we have seen a flurry of political activity happening with parties across the spectrum launching their grassroots machineries across the country. We saw how a lot of the opposition politicians had hinted at the possible dissolution today, and a lot of them are making their way back from several events across the state to KL to prepare for this. So, of course, this is an announcement that everyone sort of expected to happen. And so a lot of the parties had already sort of begun their preparations for the general election. So we'll soon have to find out the reactions coming from the other political parties, who many, as we know, are against having the elections during the monsoon season this year. And given that the country is vulnerable to floods at this time of the year, and it will heavily impact many people's lives.
Well, Afifa, what about buzz online? There was public concerns also regarding this. Do you see any buzz online about how the electorate is perhaps reacting?
I'm sure the buzz online will come in soon enough. We will see a lot of netizens commenting on social media, on all your platforms like Facebook, on Twitter, and even Instagram, maybe. And that's something that we will have to monitor. But we also know that the public has been very concerned about the elections happening during this year. And if you recall, last year, there were devastating floods that happened across several states in Malaysia. Many people were displaced, some 70,000 people were displaced, and that had cost the government, some $1 billion in total. So that's something that many, Malaysians are worried about. But they're also concerned about the continuing instability. So there are some camps of Malaysians who are saying that it is better to just hold an election, to give the mandate back to the people once again, and have a new government, a more stable government, perhaps, that can rule Malaysia for the next 5 years.
Thank you very much for that update. That was Afifa Arifin live in Kuala Lumpur.